Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Ree of Fluid Fox Yoga, and this is the fourth video in a series of 6 videos that I'm filming in collaboration with Wuufly. Today I'm bringing you a full body Yin Yoga sequence, which is a longer video than normal because we need to spend a few minutes in each of the poses, in each of the postures, to really work into the connective tissue and the fascia, to create some space around our joints and to lengthen and relax the body. So what you'll need for today's practice is ideally a cushion or a bolster, and maybe a couple of blocks and a nice blanket for assistance in some of the postures, but also for your Shavasana at the end of your practice. Welcome back. As you can see, I've just had a quick outfit change. I've just popped some socks on and a hoodie just to stay warm, just to help my body relax. So if you want to grab something, then go ahead. Okay, make sure you've got your props around you, and you can either stay seated or you could come up onto your knees and come into a kneeling posture, a kneeling sit. And if this is too intense on your knees, you could put a blanket under your shins or under your hips, whatever you prefer. Take a couple of deep breaths here, close your eyes, exhale, relax. And again, exhale, just relax. One more breath. And lower your right ear towards your right shoulder. You can then slide your left fingers off your leg and lower them down to the floor. And stay with your breath, just taking some nice deep breaths here. Exhaling, relaxing. One more breath. And then just bring your right hand to your cheek to cup under your head, and then help the head come back up to center. Keep your eyes closed, lower your hands back to your legs, and lower the left ear to the left shoulder. Come back to your breath. Exhale, relax. Lower your right fingers to the floor. One more breath. And then again, using your left hand, just cup the underneath of your head, your face, and just help the head come back up to center. Keeping your eyes closed, rest your hands on your thighs. Just lower your chin to your chest. Come back to your breath. Exhale to soften. One more breath. Inhale as you lift your head. Maybe gently start to blink your eyes open. From here, going to take a child's pose. I'm just going to turn to the side. You can keep the knees together, or you can just gently move the knees apart. Toes are touching, and just walk yourself forward. So if you're in your cross-legged seated position, just roll over your knees and join us in child's pose. If your head doesn't touch the floor, take a cushion or a block and just support your head here. Come back to your breath. Exhale to relax. And we'll be staying here for 5 deep breaths. And as you start to sink a little bit closer to the floor, you're of course welcome to lower a little deeper. Keep sending your hips back, maybe creeping the fingers forwards for extra length through the side body. And stay with your breath. Last breath here. Exhale to relax. Inhale, gently start to lift your weight back up. You're going to come forwards into a tabletop. Bring your knees back under your hips, tops of feet flat on the floor. You're going to feed your left arm, left hand under your right arm. As you do so, you're going to lower your head down to the mat and look under your right armpit. The hips stay high. Slide your right hand up the mat away from you. And come back to your breath. Really release that head into the floor and let everything be heavy now. Take 2 more breaths here. All you're going to do is slide that right hand back down towards your face. Push the right hand into the floor to lift you back up. And then move your left arm back out in front of you. Left hand under left shoulder. Moving to the other side, send the right hand under your left arm. Palm up. Lower the right shoulder to the floor. Lower your head. And come down to the mat. Slide your left hand up the mat away from you. And just start to soften here. Relax into the floor. Take 2 more deep breaths. And then sliding that left hand back towards your face, push against it as you lift back up to your tabletop. Hands come back under your shoulders. You're just going to gently take your knees out to the sides. Now, this is where you may have hard floors and want to use a blanket under your knees. It's also a really good opportunity to get your cushion or your bolster for your chest to support on. You're going to take your knees maybe off the mat, depending on your mobility, and you're going to bend the knees at a 90-degree angle. The feet are going to be flexed, and this is frog pose. So you want to have something under your belly, under your chest, that you can fold down onto. You don't have to have any props at all if you want to make it a bit more challenging, but this is generally a stretch where you'll feel it without having to try too much. Come down onto your forearms with the cushion underneath you if you are using a cushion. And keep your hips aligned with your knees, maintaining that right angle. The feet can start to relax now, and you can slowly drop your head down. Or rest your head on a block or a cushion. Try not to hold anything, try not to engage, but allow the legs and hips to just soften with your exhale. Staying here for 5 deep breaths. And really feel the inhale coming into the body, and your body just rising with that breath. And then feel your body starting to lower with the exhalation. To continue that rise and fall. Lengthening your breath. Slowing down. Now you can, of course, pause the video at any of these postures if you want to stay in the posture longer. And from here, you're gently going to come back onto your hands, lift your body back up, and very gently and slowly make your way back into your tabletop. So your knees are going to come slowly back under your hips. They don't want to move. And the tops of your feet are going to stay on the mat. So knees are slightly apart. From here, I'm just going to move my bolster out the way. From here, you're going to just start to walk your hands to the top of your mat, but you're going to keep your hips over your knees. And as you walk forwards, you're going to just lengthen through the spine and start to lower your head to the floor so that your head rests comfortably, feels supported by the ground. And you start to feel a lovely stretch, a lovely opening through the shoulders and upper back and chest. Come back to your breath. That lovely rise and fall.
Now you can really feel the rise and fall in this melting heart pose, also called puppy pose. And you can really enjoy the movement here. Notice where the body resists. Notice any sensations, unusual feelings. And just work to relax. Stay connected to your body, feeling and observing. Stay with your breath, rising and falling. Five more deep breaths here, breathing at your own pace. When you're ready, start to transition onto your forearms and creep forwards. Lower your belly and hips onto the mat. Take hold of your cushion or any other props that you want or may need, and you can place them under your chest or your rib cage here as an extra support. With your elbows under your shoulders, spread your hands out in front of you, coming into a Sphinx pose. The legs can be slightly apart, tops of feet flat on the floor. We're not going to engage anything. You're going to just push the elbows into the floor. And you're going to try and attempt to lengthen your neck, gazing forwards or taking hold of a block and resting your forehead and your head on a prop, whichever you prefer. And while you're here, starting to relax, particularly the hips, the lumbar spine, and the shoulders. Come back to your breath. And working towards our 5 deep breaths again. Being aware of the sensations. Not being afraid of those unusual feelings. Starting to learn that that is just your body's response. Its way of releasing. Its way of letting go. Stress. Tension. In all these little areas that we hold it in. So learning to accept that the body is resisting just a little bit. learning to soften the body, allowing it to feel safe with your breath, and helping it let go of anything that doesn't serve it, that doesn't serve you. And again, you're more than welcome to stay here a bit longer if you need to. From here, we're going to gently move onto our left hip. So you're going to roll gently onto your side, going onto your left side first. Bend the knees and keep them stacked on top of each other. And then just come onto your left hand. And rather than the hand but be directly under your shoulder, just slide it away on the diagonal. And you want to just line up the feet, your hips, and your shoulder and hand in a line. The knees will be in front. And then you're going to just allow yourself to just drop into this left shoulder. Allow the weight of your upper body to just drop down towards the floor. Gravity can help. And then start to feel quite an interesting stretch in this left side of your body. You can lower your head here, you can close your eyes again, rest your right hand on your thigh or maybe even in front of you, wherever is comfortable. And come back to your breath for 5 deep breaths here. Noticing how this feels down the left side of your body. And paying attention to any sensations, anything that feels a little different. And just relaxing into this. And you can always adjust yourself if it's too much. You can put some cushions underneath your arm if you need to. This is a very adaptable pose. You could even come down onto your elbow if this is still just too much to start with. Props are there to support us, to help us, to enable the body to relax. And when the body relaxes, it opens up. And from here, very slowly, start to come back up. You're going to find your sitting bones on the mat. So you're going to sit on your bottom. Help yourself there. Take your time. We don't need to rush into each of these postures. Coming in and out of these postures is a process itself. Bring your legs out in front of you, slightly apart, and just pull the fleshy parts from under your thighs out of the way. Take hold of a cushion or a bolster or any other props really, and just pop that in front of you. Have a lightness in your knees, so you're not locking your knee joint. And as you inhale, just draw yourself up a little bit here, lifting the chest. As you exhale, you're going to fold forwards and you're going to find your chest maybe coming down onto your cushion and maybe resting your head here. If your head doesn't quite get to the block or the cushion, take a yoga block, take an extra prop and just support your head here, facing down, or you could turn your head one way. Whatever works for you. Support your head. Support your upper body. And just start to relax here. And if the feet want to just flop out to the sides, let them. If you want to bend your knees a little bit more, feel free. Allow the upper body to be heavy. And as you relax here and start to feel a bit more comfortable, you can change your position. Maybe lowering down a little bit more. Taking this pose to wherever you need it to go for your body. And staying here for 5 deep breaths. Come back to that lovely rise and fall. Breathing in through the nose. Exhaling, relaxing your belly onto your thighs. Letting the head be heavy. Noticing any strange sensations, any tingling, any twitching. Don't change the rhythm of your breathing. Stay consistent to your breath. Be in control. Again, feel free to stay here a little longer if you wish. We're going to slowly make our way back up. And we're going to just gently roll onto the right side of our body to stretch the right side up. Sorry, stretch the right side out, not up. So again, bringing the knees together now, you're on your right thigh. Knees together, bent in front of you, feet on top of each other. The right hand is not directly under your right shoulder. You're just going to walk it out a little bit. So you line up your feet, your hips, shoulder and hand in one nice line, and your knees are directly in front of you. And then you're just gently going to drop your weight into that right shoulder. And you can rest your head here. You can gaze down at the floor, close your eyes. And come back to your breath. And it might feel completely different on this side, on your right side this time. Sometimes it takes a few seconds before you start to actually feel the stretch. And if you need to adjust, adjust. And trial and error. Very often you need to sometimes adjust to really feel the posture, to make it deeper or to make it slightly easier, depending on what you need.
And sometimes the smallest movement, the subtlest movement can make quite a big difference. Really nice. So from here, we're going to gently make our way back up, and then we're going to find our way down onto our backs. So lying on the mat. From here, bring your knees in towards you and just give yourself a little hug. You can keep your head on the floor and gently rock from side to side if that feels good, or just keep still, remain still if that feels better. Alleviate the lower back and any other areas that may still feel a little bit of tension, a bit of soreness. And then from here, keep your knees where they are and let your arms come out to the sides. Turn the palms up. Take both knees over to the right. Before you go there, maybe grab hold of a cushion or a block to take with you. So with both knees now dropping over to the right, maybe shuffling that right shoulder under, and then notice whether that top knee, that left knee, has lifted off the bottom knee. And if it has, then just slide a block or a cushion in between your knees, and it just acts as a really nice support for your top leg. Just gives that top leg something to rest against, and it just feels so much better. Allow that left shoulder to drop to the floor, and if this is okay, you could start to turn your gaze to the left. And we'll stay here for 5 deep breaths again. Really breathing into that side body. And feel free to just gently wiggle your fingers and open and close your hands just to loosen out your hands, fingers, wrists. If you wanted to make this a little bit more challenging, a couple of options would be to just slide that left arm up on the diagonal, or bending that left arm at the elbow, allowing the back of the left hand to stay connected to the ground. And once you get more comfortable in this posture, you could slowly remove the prop between your knees and increase the intensity of this stretch. When you're ready, help your knees back up to center. Use your right hand to guide them to the middle, and then bring them back in towards your chest. If you need to gently rock from side to side again, go for it, or just find stillness here. Before you drop your knees to the left, take hold of your prop, your cushion or your block, and just move it to the other side just in case it's needed. And then take both knees down to the left. Open your arms out into that T-shape. Shuffle your left shoulder under slightly. And allow your palms to turn upwards. Again, check in with this right knee. If it has lifted, then just pop something between the knees to just add a bit of support for your hips, and it should feel 100 times better. When you're ready, you could turn your gaze towards the right, towards your right hand. And again, if you want to modify this, you could adapt it so that it makes it a little bit more challenging. You could remove the prop, and you could also slide that right arm up on the diagonal or bend that right arm at the elbow. Stay with your breath, breathing into your side body. And then very gently use your left hand to help bring your knees back up to the center. Draw them in towards you again, hugging them in, maybe rocking from side to side if that just helps to alleviate any tension in your lower back. Or just finding stillness here, squeezing them in towards your belly. And then start to release your feet to the floor. You're going to tuck your tailbone under. Have your feet quite close in towards your bottom. Maybe even tickle the back of your heels, touch the back of your heels with your fingertips. And then I'd like you to just press into your feet, and ever so slightly, it's a really small, subtle movement. I'd just like you to pull your bottom in and sort of draw the hips off the floor, squeezing your navel down. So just a really gentle lift, kind of pulling that tailbone under. And gently lower. And you feel that kind of re-tilt, that anterior tilt of your hips. And again, I'd like you to just tuck the tailbone under, push into your heels, and just peel your bottom off the floor. Really subtle movement. And gently lower. We're going to do that one more time. Just feel that little anterior tilt as the pelvis moves away. And then again, pull it back towards you, navel down. Push into your heels, tuck your bottom under, and just really subtle lift. No more than an inch. And lower back down. And then start to window wipe your knees to the right and to the left. Just do that a couple of times just to loosen out the legs and hips. And then you're going to take the soles of your feet together. And then the knees are going to drop out to the sides. Now you could take hold of your cushion or grab 2 yoga blocks, 2 cushions or 2 blocks, and just pop them under your knees, under your thighs, to act as a little support there if you need it. Then just bring your hands to your belly. Draw your chin in towards your chest, just a little bit to lengthen through the back of your neck. And start to take some deep breaths here. Belly breathing. Really use your abdominals and your diaphragm to fill up the stomach. Exhale
to soften. Exhale to soften. Continue to enjoy that rise and fall. For as long as you need to. Feel free to stay in this reclined posture with your legs in a butterfly shape, or when your hips have had enough, you're very welcome to extend your legs long and take your Shavasana, your relaxation posture. You can stay here for as long as you need to, as long as you want. But if you're ready, you're going to start to draw your knees back together. Possibly take a full body stretch if that would work, if that would feel nice. Extending arms overhead, extending legs away from you. And then you're going to gently curl into fetal position on one side. Bring the knees in and gently roll over, whichever side is more comfortable for you. Just balancing the blood before we start to lift back up. And come up when you're ready to. No rush. You take your time. Make your way into any comfortable seated position on your mat. With eyes closed. Rest your hands on your knees. Allow your body to soften. Feel the ground beneath your legs. And come back to your breath. Thank you for allowing me to guide you. Thank you for your trust and thank you for being present. I hope you feel rested and relaxed. This video was brought to you by Fluid Fox Yoga and Wuufly. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channels and support our content. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up below and leave a comment. We look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day.